Da-da-da-da-dum. Oh,
Yeah, do you
I'm just gonna-
do you happen to edit our podcast in stereo? Because I felt like I did a lot of head movements that time to kind of.
dagnabbit. Well, now that you said it, I will do it for the beginning. We do publish in stereo. I usually don't edit in stereo, but we'll edit that beginning in stereo if I remember. And if I don't, call me out, everybody. Say, hey, send a quick email to grandlinetourist@gmail.com because you can let us know we didn't deliver on our word, the word of our podcast, which is an examining or re-examining of a brilliant manga written by Eiichiro Oda called One Piece. I am your tourist, Jacob Jarecki, and I am being led on this grand adventure by none other than, drumroll,
I, the tour guide, Eric Vu. And I will state, guys, that the water slide from last chapter, it's not a slide. You guys got to stop going down it. We've lost a lot of different tourists.
But I found this hose and I just brought it over to it, and then it had water again. And
has anybody stopped to ask where the hose came from? There's not enough questions here.
You know what? I'm going to go follow this hose to the end of the line. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to dish out the itinerary for this week. We are on chapter 19, titled Devil Fruit. Luffy is angry. He has just tackled Buggy, and he's beaten on him. Meanwhile, back on the ranch, Nami, just reiterates her desire to go steal treasure. And back on a different ranch, the townspeople, they say, hey, I wonder what's happening with, our mayor that we haven't seen from a while. One of our 4 passed out unconscious folk at the beginning of the last chapter. Yeah. So, one guy says, I'm going, and everyone says, okay, we'll go with you, town together.
You can't be good citizens if you don't protect your mayor, which I know you're going to do, right? Right, Jacob? Every time your mayor is in trouble, you're going to go and fight for
mayor, governor, representative, senate. I'm there. They just say I'm in a scuff, and I'm like, tell me the street address. I'm coming.
It's our citizen duties.
And so we learn through a flashback that Shanks has, quote unquote, stolen a great treasure from Buggy, and we're gonna go, learn what that was. And in this flashback, what happens is Buggy and Shanks, they're doing all their pirating things. There was a devil fruit that was found during some of this pirating adventure that's worth 100 million berries, and Buggy, he gets excited because with that sort of money he could start his own crew, do his own thing. And he pretends to eat the devil fruit so that he can steal it for himself. Everyone thinks that he ate it, and shouldn't he have powers now? He doesn't have them yet, but whatever, maybe it's a defunct devil fruit. Buggy has the devil fruit and he's ready, and while he's planning to go, Shanks, just being a kind of friendly, jolly guy, just checking up on him. Checks up on Buggy, and inadvertently causes Buggy to both hide the devil fruit in his mouth, and then upon scaring him again, causes him to swallow that devil fruit.
Yes.
At the same time, drop a treasure map that he had found earlier and taken for himself off the side of the ship. Just doing a lot of bad things in Buggy's mind to himself at once, right? Losing the treasure that he was going to go get, losing his ability to swim. But also gaining some power. So, I feel like a trade-off isn't as bad as they always make it to sound, but we'll see. At some point, maybe it's gonna come into play. It's been said too much. That's chapter 19. Anything exciting I missed, or anything to start us off with our thoughts here today?
First off, let me add to my notes another joke I just thought of that I thought was really funny.
Oh, nice. A late coming joke.
Foreshadow. I like it. What? We have that? Stop. But yeah, that's essentially everything. As you could tell from the itinerary breakdown, that this is a very big exposition heavy chapter. I do want to toss in there real quick for you, because I don't know if it's in the paperback form that you have, but he had a quick little breakdown of in chapter 18 he shows like a very early drawing of Buggy the Pirates, and in this one he answers a few questions about Buggy, and what I thought is really funny is that Buggy is just born with a round nose. Did you know that?
That makes a bit of sense. Are you saying just because we have him at a younger age still having the nose, right?
A nose, yeah. So he just has a nose. So Oda, I don't know if it's clever or just kind of like a know-it-all type of attitude, was just people ask me why Buggy has a round nose because to make him look more like a clown. So now, in our heads, as the readers, we just have to be like, I guess he's born with a round nose. Like, that's just the whole reason. It's not a prop. It's nothing. It doesn't go into it. It's just, that's what it is.
Yeah, I imagine probably not great for nose breathing. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about this.
Which also leads to me going like, so that's why he doesn't like. A few chapters ago, he kept getting pissed by people calling him a clown, and I kept saying like, oh, well, he could choose not to look like a clown. Now I am the bigoted
what a jerk.
one.
You're going to tell him to take off the nose, then he goes in the bathroom and cries and says, it's part of me. It's a part of my face.
I am the bad guy. I'm the bully. I am the
school bully over there.
I am society not accepting him for who he is, and that's on me. And I apologize.
This is the tour guide that won't let me slip and slide with
it's not
the
a
unknown
slide.
location.
I don't know where the hose is coming from. You guys are all we don't have insurance to cover slip and slide injuries. All right, so let's talk about real. Let's talk about real things now. I mean, real things in regards to this chapter, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, Shanks and Buggy. All right. But before we jump into this big conversation, I would like to put a little bug into your brain, Jacob, which is to ask yourself who they are apprentices for, what crew they are on, and just keep that in your head. Just keep that in your head.
Oh, keep it in my head. Okay. No, I thought I was like, Jacob, you should already understand and know the answer to this. Close.
Yeah, I mean, if you did, I'd be real freaking impressed. But
okay, well, prepare to be disappointed. I'll let you know if I come up with anything.
Well, it's hard. There's just no way. This is one of those things that us tour guys can argue with amongst each other and be like, did we always know? Was this always Oda's plan? But I will say, like, just seeing it this early, there is a hint, and it's a hint that just keep in mind that they are apprentices for like a crew that's gonna be important. But jumping into the actual backstory here, what did you, before I get into my like tour guide breakdown and deep thing, what did you think overall of this story? That this, in my opinion, kind of silly story.
No, I really enjoyed it. I think the kind of way it plays out is just kind of like classic, kind of someone becomes a little overconceited but can never fully, realize their plans. Just a classic, foibles, almost, it was silly, it was a lighthearted, silly adventure. When Buggy kind of introduces it as like, he made it so I couldn't get my greatest treasure, he stole my, this prized possession from me. And then you lead into this and you're like, oh, this is what you're upset about.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, that's what this is. I will have to say, just to kind of pay back a few things I said a few chapters ago, which is crew culture. I said that in this arc, right? We talked about crew culture, what the crew culture of each crew
culture came up.
Yeah, this is Buggy doesn't fit into this crew culture of this arc. And what we see, it's just one line. It happens in one panel. In the beginning of this flashback, Buggy says like, nobody in this crew appreciates booty or treasure, right? No one appreciates treasure. I have to like constantly remind you guys, like the sole reason to be a pirate sort of idea is treasure. Like he doesn't fit into this crew culture that he is a part of right now. Like it's very obvious, which leads to him kind of like disagreeing, like bumping heads with Shanks, because Shanks, on the other hand, Shanks is fully ingrained into the culture. Like he believes it, because we do have that really cool moment where Buggy and Shanks actually get to talk about what kind of captains they want to be, after leaving their apprenticeship, right? And Shanks's thing is like, I want to go and see the world, right? I'm gonna have some time to see the world, and then maybe do a little pirating along the way, right?
No, that line really stuck out to me. I was like, wait a second, this is like the anti-pirate manifesto. Like, what I really want to do is I want to become more cultured. I want to travel the world, meet people, and I probably have to collect some booty on the way. But, that's to enable this cool life that I want. I might be reading a little heavily into how I might imagine a cool thing to do, but it's kind of blunt there. Maybe that's what he's going for.
But that is kind of like what he's going for. Like, so for me, I feel like we don't really know. I mean, I guess I know, but like in the information that's in the flashback right now, we don't know what the rest of that we don't know what the crew culture, the pirate crew culture of this ship is that they're on. But I think it's a little closer. But if I had to guess, I think it's a little more closer to Shanks' philosophy and Shanks' idea of what he wants, as compared to Buggy, who's all about money. Even now, he's all about money. He even poo-poos devil fruit powers because he's like, there's more money at the bottom of the ocean than there. Like, why would you not want to be able to swim? Right?
Yeah.
Like, he is all about that. He hates the fact that he ate this thing. Like, he doesn't like the fact that he had to lose his swimming power, like the ability to swim, which I thought was a very interesting thing to kind of bring up.
And that kind of probed in my mind a very technical question that I think only the most experienced of tour guides would be able to answer. If Buggy launches off his hand and it goes into the water in an attempt to grab some underground treasure, when it goes into the water, does it just like cease being able to do things that would allow it to like fly about and swim and it sinks?
I think so. I think if it goes into the water, it just, like specifically the ocean, if it goes into the ocean, I think it's just gone.
Okay. No. Just fun little idea that I had there. And I was like, I just wanted to probe.
But we have to watch, because if I could be wrong, if he gets into the ocean, if a piece of him gets into the ocean at any point, we have guessed we were wrong.
I think someone's gonna come out with a bucket of water and they're gonna destroy him.
Right, a bucket of ocean water. Just put it in there. So now I'm gonna get into my little theory crafting a little bit. At the end of this story, he says that, now that I can't swim, I've made it my life's goal to collect all the treasure on the ocean. Right? Okay. So I want to get into this thing where the big theme of this whole arc is one's treasure, and for Buggy, this treasure is money, like actual money, actual wealth, and he hates Shanks because Shanks actually took his treasure away from him. Yeah. Which is not the devil fruit, but the value of the devil fruit. And this treasure map that he found. Like, Shanks accidentally took these things from him, and he hates them.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed in a court of law to say that he actually in any way took them away from him. But I can see why Buggy thinks this.
Right, exactly, because it's
Shanks was a very close cause of these events that Buggy's very upset about.
So I think that also explains why he has kind of like an obsessive nature about his treasure. Like, he doesn't like people touching it, and when people touch it, he's gonna like kill them. That's actually what we see at the end of this chapter, is what he's doing. When he pops up and floats in the air, you think he's gonna attack Luffy, but no, he's attacking Nami at the end of the chapter, because Nami's actually stealing stuff that he has noticed, right? Like, how are you noticing this in the middle of a fight? He's noticing it. It's because he's obsessive with it. So here's where my theory thing comes in. I think to him, the ocean, the bottom of the ocean, has infinite amount of treasure. And he hates Shanks because now that he can't swim, because he was obsessive about like treasure underneath the ocean stuff. He says it. Shanks has now essentially forced him to deal with the finite amount of treasure available in the like above ocean.
Ah, interesting.
And he hates that. He hates that he is essentially limited to the wealth that he can accumulate. It is no longer infinite. It is now finite. And if he loses, you can take it away from him when it's above ocean. You can remove it from him. You can take it. He can lose it. Whereas in the ocean, in his mind, like, it's not. You can't take that away. It's in the ocean. No one knows. You have to go find it.
Yeah, no. And just to make sure I got this correctly, are you thinking of him wanting to collect treasure from the ocean floor, or are you thinking of him having already collected treasure and saying, like, I might hide this on the ocean floor?
I think both.
Both? Right? Okay, both. Yeah, no, because that second one would be interesting, right? Like, it's a very safe way to protect your treasure, but, like, it's totally not available to him now because he won't be able to get his treasure back, and he's very anxious about it, so he's not going to be able to do that now.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I like this theory because it's one of those things that's almost always wrong. It's always like the thing you can't do, grass is always greener, right? You know,
right.
Like, there's probably a finite amount of treasure. I assume the ocean floor has some sort of limits in the world of One Piece, but Buggy's not going to see it that way, right? He just knows there's more treasure there. I can't get it, you know?
Yeah, because he has such that snooty position about, like, why would you give up your ability to swim? There's so much down there. Like, so that's why I took that one line, and obviously I'm blowing way out of the water, pun intended, to kind of just look at it and dissect it and, like, try to understand why he has such an obsessive nature about treasure. Like, he's in the middle of a fight. He's going to chase down Nami because Nami's stealing treasure from him. Like, that's how crazy he is about his own wealth, about his money, about his treasure. And he hates Shanks for a passion because Shanks lost the treasure map for him and took away his ability to swim. He doesn't see him gaining the ability to do chop chop stuff. All he sees is his lack of ability to swim now. He can't do it anymore.
Yeah. No, it's a bad mindset to be in. We need Captain Buggy needs a redemption arc where he learns that the world is not this you can, what is it called? Minimum sum game or something, He's got options yet, and he can work with some other people, and it can be better. It can be better, Buggy.
You can be better, man. You'll be okay. Yeah, that's kind of like the things I kind of want to chat about. Just kind of the things I pulled out of this backstory for both of them. Rereading it now again, like just kind of looking at it now, there's a lot of weight here, and a fun little thing that I was like, oh shoot, this is cool. It reveals what crew they're a part of and all this fun stuff. But it's also just a really good setup of like, they're so different. Shanks and Buggy are so different. Therefore, Buggy and Luffy are so different. Like they're innately different philosophy. They're different men, different people.
No, and it was an interesting thing that kind of, when I saw that, it was nowadays when I see people that are different, I kind of think just something about the way they are makes them that way.
Yeah,
and then it's like it kind of forces their hand as how they exist in the world, And Buggy's hand is not as not as appealing to us as readers of this. We kind of. I lean a little bit more Shanks, I don't want to be that's the crew culture I want to be a part of,
Yeah, there you go.
But maybe, write us in if you want to be a part of the Buggy crew culture.
Yeah, tell us what your crew culture is. If you had a crew, everybody should have that conversation with their best buds now. What kind of pirate crew and what kind of crew culture do you want for your ship?
Yeah, no, and at work, go get your local HR guy and be like, hey, I want to talk about the crew culture around here.
Yes. That's all I have on this chapter. Is there any other discussion points that you kind of wanted to chat a bit about?
I think the ending of the big fight that Luffy and Buggy had I originally wrote down here that it was like maybe not as climactic as I wanted it to be. But after you had mentioned that it was like this interesting setup with the arm leading in from the fight from our last episode, basically a bluffing of a move, it is a little bit more climactic than I originally thought. So because everything else in that fight felt so intense, and that last move didn't pay off as much for me because I didn't realize that at first. So very glad that you pointed that out. It's changed my thought a little bit on the whole, how the ending of that fight pays off what's been going on. So really appreciate that. And no, I think with that we were already joking quite a bit, but
yeah, I'm really excited to talk about the jokes in this chapter.
All right, no, you're excited? Come on, hit me with a joke.
Oh my god, OP got hecka jokes in this chapter. I think my favorite part is we start the chapter, like you said, finishing the momentum. I thought it was a tackle, but apparently it was a kick.
Interesting.
The way his body ends, it was a kick. So I love that we ended there. But I also love that he grabs the hat and he cleans the spit off on Buggy, and Buggy has the audacity to be like, "Oh, you stop!" And then Luffy has
your
that
own spit.
Yeah, Luffy has that fun line of, "It's your spit, bro. Like if you didn't want it to be clean on you should have done it."
Yeah, don't go spitting on things if you don't want that spit rubbed back on you.
Yeah. We'll do some popcorn. Do you have a joke?
Oh yeah. North Pole or South Pole? Colder. What do you think, Eric? Yeah. Which one to you? I'm thinking North Pole.
Yeah.
But really, we should fight each other about it. Let's have a big fight.
Right. We're gonna beat each other's up, Shanks and Buggy, in that flashback. That's how we get introduced to them, right? Which is really, really great. My next one is I like how Luffy's kind of fighting like a kid in the opening parts of this chapter. He's like stretching his face. He's like, "This is stop. You messed around with, like, don't talk about Shanks. Don't do this." And he's like stretching his face, which I think is kind of funny.
I'll take that popcorn right back for a quick one, which is, it's actually more of a cool, intense one, but still a little bit of a joke. Chop, chop, don't come apart.
Yes.
Which is said by Luffy, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. This is another one where sometimes I only caught it like on doing a double take to make sure I understood that panel. I was so used to Buggy saying chop chop that I didn't realize that this is kind of Luffy making fun of Buggy by saying like, "Oh yeah, you think you got something you're gonna do? Chop chop, don't come apart." And it's not a move, right? Like,
I actually don't know if it's Luffy saying that.
I think it is. So like basically, we got Buggy, saying, "I don't know what your connection to Shanks is, but I'll say whatever I like about him." And then it's a connected bubble. So that's why I think it's also Luffy. It says, "Oh yeah, like, you'll say whatever you like about them. Chop, chop, don't come apart. So I thought that was, I think that's a continuation of Luffy saying all those lines to basically, land a big blow on Buggy and, kind of claim victory for the fight a little bit.
Yeah, so good. That'd be funny if that's what it is too. Actually, the way I read it, I thought he was gonna start doing a move. I thought he was gonna try
and then Luffy finishes the line, right?
Yeah, and then he smacks him, don't come apart.
No, that would be good too. It's just the bubble is connected. The speech bubble doesn't have the split, but you're right. The one bubble is closer to Buggy's head. Either way, finishing the chop chop with don't come apart.
I think your read is right though, because he's responding to. I think this is a response to him saying, "But I'll say whatever I like about him."
Yeah, no, but the way you read it too also works pretty well too, as like the joke still lands of the "don't come apart" part of it.
Yeah, but I loved it because I thought that was such a dumb payoff of like "don't come apart," and it's just him slapping him in the face.
Yep.
My last joke is at the end of this flashback. Luffy goes, "So Shanks saved your life."
Yeah, no, that's a good one. It's like Luffy does sometimes sum up things perfectly, and that's a pretty funny sum up because it's also what you're thinking if you look at this. It's essentially what happens, because Buggy, if fallen off with being a devil fruit eater now, can't swim, and so Shanks is diving in to save him, which is pretty, there's like a touching buddiness going on between Shanks and Captain Buggy, even though they're like kind of like buddies that have different worldviews. They he always comes and annoys Buggy. Buggy's always trying to do something else that's grandiose and like plans. And I feel like I could watch a small comedy television miniseries about Buggy and Shanks adventures.
Can you like a sitcom? Buggy's and Shanks.
Yeah.
Which is I would watch that only for a little bit though.
Yeah.
They're coming. No, maybe, so this is a small thing.
It got bad after third season.
Right. After the showrunner left, they didn't know what they were doing. They were all just fart jokes. A fun little real world fact. They're coming out with a Shanks devoted movie called Red, a One Piece movie, and it's all devoted to Shanks. Typically, these One Piece movies aren't canon, like they aren't.
It's gonna be an anime movie, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Just making sure we're not going crazy with a live action Shanks film. I'd be like, whoa.
We already went crazy. We have a live action One Piece coming out, so because those Netflix live action anime stuff always goes so well for them, so they're just gonna continue double down on them. Before we move on, any more OP jokes?
No. I think if you're ready,
let's fight.
I'm ready for a bit of a panel battle.
Were you on a horse in the beginning of that? Was that galloping? Like,
it was just supposed to be some sort of like ambient background music, but now I'm gonna say that ambient background music was composed mostly of horse hooves. It's time for the panel battle. I have mine ready to go, so you get yours ready while I explain to our listeners
this
out
is always
there
how
what
it's going to be forever for us, Jacob, because I'm always not going to be ready.
Eric's losing. I'm just kidding. These things take coordination and time, and this is how it's working. This is the panel battle. This is where Eric and I choose the panel that spoke to us most. They're not usually pentagons. I haven't seen a pentagon panel in One Piece, but could be a trapezoid, could be a square. Definitely rectangles are in there. We choose one of those that spoke to us most.
They're in the square family, typically panels, I'll have to say.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, they go head to head. We talk about why we love them. We talk about why we love them more than the other panel the other person picked. And we want you to talk about why any particular panel you may have come across is one that you love. Reach out to us at grandlinetourist@gmail.com. And, we'd love to read it out on the show. Hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
With that,
Jacob, I would like to go first. Because
okay.
You actually kind of mentioned it today.
Conceding initiative to Eric.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
There we go. We have a rectangular panel, I might add, at the top third of the page, and it says, "It's the North Pole." And then Shanks responds with, "No, the South Pole." So we got Buggy and Shanks' shirt. I don't even know if there's a special name for the part of the shirt, but front of the shirt, each in each other's fist. Teeth bared. You got Buggy kind of wears like it reminds me a little bit of in his younger form of Zolo a little bit with his like beanie hat sort of style. But no, it was a hilarious panel. And it's a great pose between these two characters that we know now seeing them younger.
So I'm gonna try and blow your mind a little bit here.
Oh,
I
no.
chose this panel because this is the first image we have them together. They're arguing about which pole is the coldest, and they are literally polar opposites of each other.
Oh, no.
I did it. I've done it.
Mind blown. I never... Yeah, no, basically, it's like a combination of theme and pun and purpose all in one.
Yeah.
But no, when I read it, I did not think of that at all. I just thought, oh, this is funny, you know?
Yeah, but that's what it is. They're polar opposites.
And I'll even take that gambit and I'll up it one more and say this is a little bit of a Jacob's prediction corner, a tinfoil hat time, if you will. At some point, there will be characters at the North Pole, and later on, they'll be at the South Pole, and they will mention which one they thought was colder. That's coming up on these sails across the whole world. Someone's going to go to one of the poles, and there'll be a callback to the temperature of them. Taking my tinfoil hat off now. I'm sure the listeners are all impressed by how many I've gotten right so far.
That's true. That's true.
Just gotta keep laying them down.
You have like a little desk for your tinfoil hat. I can't believe you.
I know,
built
it's
like
so
a
cool.
a little case per se.
I mean, tinfoil is not the most durable material. It might get folded and then it wouldn't work anymore.
Continuously
right?
make them. All right, Jacob. I'm gonna look at yours now.
It needs to be the same hat every time.
All right, let me look at yours. All right, which one am I looking at?
This is the lower of the two you can see. I think this is the middle of the page, though.
All right, so this is also in the flashback. This is a lower rectangular panel. It is a wide shot of the ship that they are on. And it goes, we have dialogue, ha, 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 another victory. And then someone else saying, drink, sing, make merry. Yeah. And it's just a really beautiful shot of, like, the ship on, like, on the moonlight, on the ocean, the shadow of the moon, or the moonlight hitting it, creating a shadow on the ocean of the ship and all that good stuff. It's a pretty shot. Yeah,
no, it is pretty, and I mean, I'm a sucker for these kind of shots. And one reason I really wanted to point this one out is we actually haven't had too many shots of, boats on water in like a farther out sort of way. And for a pirate, manga, you think you'd see more of them. So I was kind of excited to see, nice silhouette of a ship. I think we got some maybe ship battles coming in the future. I'm excited to see them pan out in this sort of way.
Yeah. All right. Well, 'tis again the end of all of this. Let's end this chapter's podcast with us both putting a whole devil fruit in our mouth and then swallowing.
Oh. Okay. So wait, we'll have at the same time we'll put the devil fruit in, and then I'll snap my fingers, and that's when we accidentally swallow our devil fruit.
Here we go. Ready?
All right. Let's get him in. Let's go swimming.